Hello there and welcome to my tour of AX Chibi, which was held last weekend in Ontario. Now, if you don't know what AX Chibi is, it's basically a smaller version of Anime Expo. The same people who run Anime Expo run AX Chibi, and you can see the Anime Expo logo right there at the entrance up above, and that's going to be my first picture. So this is a new format. I'm going to see if just showing pictures is a viable thing to do. Let's see what happens. Most anime conventions have a video game room, and AX Chibi is no different. You see here the entrance to the retro arcade room, so it has a lot of arcade machines, but it also has console games. So let's take a look inside and see what kind of arcade games and console games that they have. So most of the arcade machines in the retro room are the arcade 1-up versions, which is fine. They're a bit smaller than what they were back in the day, but still the screen looks great. Here's Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I spent so many hours playing this game as a kid, and here it is. I have no one to play with, otherwise I would be playing it in this picture. Now we move on to the console games inside the retro room. You see there Nintendo 64, Mario is sleeping, that's Super Mario 64. You see the different colored Nintendo 64 controllers. I can't quite make out what that middle console is, but at the end is an Atari, and it's a special Atari. It's like the Atari version of the SNES Classic or the NES Classic. You can see here the Atari console on the right, and one of the joysticks is lit up, and you can see a bunch of different games you can choose from on the screen. It's kind of neat, because there were different Atari consoles over time, and this one has all of them, and I assume it has all the best games on those consoles, so it's really cool, even though I'm not an Atari fan. Now we move on to the exhibit hall. Every anime convention has an exhibit hall, and it's just a place where different sellers can make some money, I guess, because they know that there's going to be a lot of anime nerds, video game nerds around, and that's the kind of stuff that you'll find in here. Mostly anime stuff, but there are a few video game booths. As I said, there are video game booths inside AX Chibi. There were a couple of them. There are at least 3 or 4, and this one had a bunch of consoles. You can see the GameCube, PS2, Nintendo 64. You can see the containers with the games inside them in the background. This was a cool booth. I don't remember the name of it, but it was one of the cooler booths that I saw for a video game fan anyway. And we're going to move on. This was a different booth. They were selling foreign games, and here was the foreign version, the Super Famicom version of Yoshi's Island. And you can see the box art. The box art is a lot better. I like this box art. It's very colorful compared to the American version of Yoshi's Island. I wish they used this same box art for the American version on SNES. Let's go outside. Normally all the sellers are inside the exhibit hall, but I guess this convention had an overflow of sellers, so they put them outside. And the weather was nice anyway. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. It was about in the high 60s maybe low 70s, and here are a bunch of sellers selling nerd stuff from anime and video games. Next to the outside exhibit hall was Artist Alley. Now, Artist Alley is usually where fans sell their art, or they sell their pins or drawings or whatever they have, and they make a few dollars. And they kind of relegated Artist Alley to a tent outside instead of inside the convention center. So I wonder how they felt about that, but anyways, you can see it's pretty crowded, so there was a good crowd for them. And also outside were a bunch of cars with anime drawings on them, and this one had an anime girl, a cute anime girl on the side. Now realistically, if I drove this car with that anime girl on the side, I would just assume that someone's gonna key my car when I come back to it. If I park somewhere, go inside the store and come back, I would just assume that someone's gonna key the car. In any case, those were my pictures from AX Chibi 2024. I thought we'd end the tour with one of the mascots for the convention, an inflatable girl with pink hair, and she looks pretty cute. She looks happy. AX Chibi is a smaller version of Anime Expo, which is one of the biggest conventions in the country. If not the biggest, it's definitely the biggest in the anime category. Tell me if you like the photo format for these videos. I'll think about doing them again if people like them. We'll see what the view count is. Have a good day.